The Bayou Beckons Louisiana nights carry a heavy weight of stories. The tales of voodoo queens, restless spirits, and ancient curses have long lingered in the thick, humid air. I knew this when I set off on my drive through the bayous one night. However, knowing about them and experiencing them are two vastly different realms. It began innocently enough. A friend from Baton Rouge had invited me to his engagement party, but I'd lost track of time and found myself setting off late into the night. Opting for a scenic route that would take me through some of the most beautiful bayous, I relied on my GPS, its blue light casting eerie shadows on the car's interior. The night air was stifling. I could hear the constant chirping of the crickets and the occasional splash of water as unseen creatures dove into the darkness. The bayou's twisted trees with their mossy beards seemed to watch me as I drove past. About an hour in, my radio began to act up. It fizzled out before settling on a hauntingly slow blues tune, punctuated by the sounds of a harmonica and an old man's raspy voice singing about lost love and regret. It was melancholic, but it felt authentic, very Louisiana. So I let it play. Soon the paved road turned into a dirt path, which the GPS insisted was correct. I was skeptical, but the dense foliage and the overarching trees formed a tunnel that felt almost hypnotic to drive through. Then, I saw the lights, flickering candle-like glows that danced in the distance. Thinking it might be another car or perhaps a house, I drove towards them. Instead, I stumbled upon a clearing with an old, decrepit plantation house. A group of people stood outside, their bodies swaying gently to the rhythm of the blues song that still played on my radio. They turned to look at me simultaneously as I approached. Their eyes, a glowing shade of yellow, seemed otherworldly. "Lost traveler?" a woman in an old-fashioned white dress asked. Her voice was soft, echoing the mournful wails of the blues tune. "I think so," I stammered. "I was heading to Baton Rouge." She smiled, revealing sharp, elongated teeth. "You won't find Baton Rouge here. Only memories and forgotten souls." I tried to reverse, to get out of that clearing, but my car refused to budge. Panic set in. The crowd began to circle my car, their hands reaching out, fingers elongated and nails sharp. Their chants grew louder, filling the bayou with haunting melodies of ancient rituals. Feeling trapped and desperate, I remembered the small pendant my grandmother, a Louisiana native, had given me for protection. She always spoke of the spirits that roamed the bayous and the old rituals that kept them at bay. I grabbed the pendant, holding it out in front of me. The reaction was immediate. The figures hissed, their forms distorting like smoke in the wind. The woman's face twisted in rage. "You might escape now," she whispered with venom, "but the bayou always calls back what belongs to it." With that, the figures retreated, and the dense fog that had surrounded the area lifted. My car roared to life, and without looking back, I sped away. By the time I reached Baton Rouge, the first rays of dawn were piercing the horizon. My friend, upon hearing my story, turned pale. He confirmed what I had already begun to suspect. That part of the bayou was cursed, a place where souls trapped in limbo tried to ensnare unsuspecting wanderers. I left Louisiana soon after, making a silent promise never to drive its bayous at night again. But sometimes, in the depth of the night, I still hear that melancholic blues tune, a haunting reminder of the night the bayou called to me.